Let's have a look at how to do keyword research for AI search. So I was just having a little look around exploding topics and I found this interesting keyword. It looks like it's been blowing up over the last few years and recently since July has grown to 480 searches a month. And this is, they say, Google global search volume. So 480 searches. So I thought, let's just type this into Google. What is it? What is scalp microbiome? Well, we get an AI overview, which is pretty cool. If I just roll down, I think we start to see that the real commercial intent here is different shampoos, serums. It helps with hair loss. Interesting. Maybe some commercial opportunity. So I've just gone straight into LLMrefs. And I've set up this new keyword, scalp microbiome. It's a brand new keyword, so you won't see any historical data here. But the first thing we can have a look is we can see this is in the US only, and we're seeing 418 searches a month. So these are conversations that include scalp microbiome in the user's prompt. So, and this is US only. So if we compare that back to exploding topics, which is global, we can actually deduce that more people are talking about this problem or looking for solutions in AI search than they are in Google across the board. So that's firstly pretty cool. But let's roll down to some of the brands here. So how we rank brands is via competitor benchmarking. There's no magic numbers here where brand visibility doesn't really mean anything. We do it using two metrics. The first one is share of voice. So you can think of this as like a mention rate. This is how often this brand will be mentioned whenever we're talking about this keyword, scalp microbiome. And the second one is position. So this is like the average order in which this brand appears in the search results when it does appear. And we do this across a series of prompts on a regular basis to ensure that this data is reliable, robust, and statistically significant. So I was actually rolling down here, and this one took my fancy. Pros. I thought this was a cool name. Let's open it up. It looks like they are selling of hair serum. But I did think it was interesting how low down they were on search. They were in 25th position with only a 5% share of voice. Over on the right here, we can also see the URLs that were referencing this keyword when this brand was mentioned in AI search as well. So we can see, the Pros homepage, and then they've got a blog post and a product page as well. So my thinking is, well, how are they doing so this is across 11 different search engines, but we want to know probably how they're doing in ChatGPT. That's probably the most important one. They're at about 70 to 80% of market share here. Things could change, obviously, when Google AI mode kicks off. So I'm just going to toggle off all of the other search engines and let's have a look at how they're doing in ChatGPT. Okay, we can see 79 brands were mentioned, but Pros isn't in there at all. Let me just go Control F. Pros is not in that list. So that's super interesting to me. So why are Pros not getting cited by ChatGPT? Let's go and have a look. The crawlability checker that we have, this is a free tool that anybody can plug into. I'm just going to type pros.com and we'll see immediately, can AI crawlers read this page? No, they can't. Well, why is that? So, we can't actually see any page content. It would tell me the content of the page if it was rendered. Looking at the technical details here, this looks like it's probably going to be some sort of React app that is actually not rendering any of the response. Now, this is important because AI crawlers do not render JavaScript. They're only going to look at the HTML that you send in your first response. So if we take a look at this website again, and if I've got a hunch, right? If I just disable JavaScript on this page and refresh, interesting. Okay, so this page requires JavaScript in order to run correctly, meaning that you're not ever going to get cited by ChatGPT, and potentially you're missing out on a huge market here for this brand. We've just learned they need to sort out their server-side rendering. But let's assume that is all already sorted out. What I've done here is I've clicked over from the brands tab to the sources tab, and what we're able to do is, because we're tracking across all of these different prompts that surround your keyword scalp microbiome, we're tracking every source and citation that's used in those responses across all 11 different search engines. We're able to identify and rank which of the sources are most important to brand visibility at any point in time. So here we can see the National Library of Medicine, Cool, that seems like a super important one. You know, the quickest hack in AI search and GE is just to get a mention in one of these sources that we already know are reliably going to get mentioned in 1 in 5 responses. If you get a mention in here, your brand is immediately going to get picked up. They've already mentioned a few different things, but maybe if we could get pros mentioned in there as well, it would completely lift the visibility. How can we get a 30-day action plan so that we can get started today? Well, I want to show you something that we have just built. It's called the GEO AI Search Audit GPTs. There will be a link for this down in the description. I've asked the GPT itself to audit why my domain is not being cited in ChatGPT. And we've got this full summary. It's been thinking for 2.5 minutes. Let's break it down. What do we see? LLMs rarely cite most core pages because it's JavaScript dependent. Yep, we just figured that out. Citability score, it comes out as a 1 in 5, which to be honest is pretty high. I would actually put it a little bit lower, but it does follow up to say that it's low trust. And then we can break down a few different points here. So that, you know, the technical GEO is down at a 4, authorities up at a 6. We've got the top 3 reasons that you're not cited. And then we get into it, a 30, 60 and a 90-day plan for increasing your visibility in AI search, all backed with evidence. We actually recommend creating Citation-Bait. It's our equivalent of link magnets in the traditional SEO world. Is a really great way to get mentions in other publications and lift your visibility. We've got all of the schema. You just need to copy and paste onto your website so that when models start training on the full web, they can understand your brand and the product and service that you're offering. We can see some query simulations. These are the prompts that users might be chatting to ChatGPT with, and we can see whether we're getting cited or not. We can actually notice that we're not getting cited in any of these except for one which actually mentions our brand name, so it sort of renders it completely redundant. And finally, we can set up a monitoring plan. And here are some quick wins to increase your visibility in ChatGPT today. I'm going to put the link to this chat down in the description and also a link to the GPT. I'd love to hear if you try it out yourself, if you get value from it, and if you disagree with any of the points, reach out to us. We'd love to chat. Cheers, guys. Chat soon. Have a great day.